Hello, my money story. I'm Richard Price, and this is my money story. Um, it was difficult for me to think of exactly what to reflect on, but then I started thinking about my childhood and um, my life and what we used to get up to as children, and I came up with. I remembered basically the idea when I was a boy. I used to get pocket money, and my father, who was a bank manager at the time, didn't actually give us the pocket money in cash. This is me, my brother, and my sister. He used to give us it in a little book like this, and he used to write the debits and credits in the book. Um, and so every Sunday evening, me, my brother, and my sister used to sit down with him, and he would apply a credit to our account, so to speak, and we would then talk about what it is that we were going to spend our money on during the week. So that if we were actually going to use the money for anything, we would talk about the transaction and the purchase that we were going to do. He would then go through the merits of the purchase that we would do, and if it was something that we were interested and he actually signed off against it, then he would do a debit on our little book, our little ledger book, and give us cash for that. We had a facility whereby if I needed to borrow money from my brother, then we would do a transfer between the two books. So I would, he would do a debit on his book and a credit on my little ledger book, and we used to manage it that way. And then I would go to my dad, and he would give us cash for that. Um, Also, if we wanted a loan because we wanted to buy something bigger, that was a facility which was also available to us. But we would also have to negotiate the interest on the loan and the actual principal payment, the payback price. So that would all be done through my dad, and he could arrange for those things as well. And things got interesting a little later on. We actually did all this in Canada when I was about 9, and then we moved to the UK. So we had to do a transfer of currency. So we had to switch the ledger books across to a different currency, and had to do that on a fixed exchange rate. So as you can imagine, the negotiations with my dad, and also this was me, my brother, and my sister negotiating. We had to decide on what exchange rate to use. So weeks building up to the actual transfer, when we were actually going to move, you can imagine all of us were examining the exchange rates between the Canadian dollar and the sterling to try and make it a joint decision on when we wanted to actually switch the exchange rates over. So really, as a whole, what this taught me as a child from the early days was that actually cash is not king. What's more important is what's actually in your ledger book, and therefore what's in the bank account. So when I reconcile my books at the end of every month, these days I always think back on that, and he taught us something which is very useful, and it's something that I think everyone else, or all children, should actually use, is to really understand the value of money. It's not so much in cash, it's really down to the ledger and trying to budget how you use it. Okay, thank you very much.